Emma slammed the door shut behind her, the echo reverberating through the empty apartment like a gunshot. Her hands trembled as she clutched the crumpled letter from her parents, the words "disgrace to the family," burning into her mind like acid. In that moment of raw vulnerability, the door flew open again, and there was Esmeralda, her best friend, eyes wide with concern, crossing the room in 3 strides to pull Emma into an embrace that shattered every boundary they had ever known. Emma's heart raced, a storm of confusion and longing crashing over her. How had it come to this? She had always kept her feelings buried deep, convinced that Esmeralda, with her string of boyfriends and traditional upbringing, could never reciprocate. But now, as Esmeralda's arms wrapped around her, whispering, "I can't pretend anymore, Emma. I've been lying to myself too." The world tilted on its axis. Emma pulled back slightly, searching her friend's face for any sign of jest, but all she saw was earnest fear mingled with determination. "What are you saying?" Emma whispered, her voice barely audible over the pounding in her ears. Esmeralda's eyes, those deep brown pools that had haunted Emma's dreams, held steady. "I'm saying I love you. Not as a friend. As more." The confession hung in the air, heavy and electric, forcing Emma to confront the truth she had denied for years. In the silence that followed, Emma's mind raced through 1,000 memories. They had met in college, 2 freshmen navigating the chaos of New York University. Esmeralda, with her infectious laugh and unyielding optimism, had been the straight-A student from a conservative Hispanic family in Texas, while Emma, from a strict Midwestern Protestant background, had been the quiet artist hiding her sexuality like a shameful secret. Their friendship blossomed over late-night study sessions and shared dreams of conquering the city. But for Emma it had always been more. She remembered the jealousy that gnawed at her when Esmeralda dated Mark, the football player, or later, when she got engaged to David, the banker. Each time Emma smiled through the pain, telling herself it was better this way. Safer. Now that safety net was unraveling. "Esme, you can't mean that," Emma said, stepping back, her back hitting the kitchen counter. "You're straight. You've always been straight. What about your family? Your life?" Esmeralda's face crumpled, tears welling up. "I thought I was. But being with those guys, it never felt right. It was like performing a role everyone expected. And then being around you, it just clicked. But I'm terrified, Emma. My parents would disown me. The church, my community, they'd see it as a sin." Emma felt a pang of empathy, mirroring her own fears. Her parents' letter was proof enough. They had cut her off after she came out 2 years ago, calling her lifestyle a choice that damned her soul. How could she drag Esmeralda into that abyss? Yet the pull was undeniable. Emma's inner voice screamed for her to seize this moment, to finally have what she had craved. But doubt crept in like poison. Was this real? Or was Esmeralda just confused, rebounding from her recent breakup? The thought twisted Emma's gut. "We need to talk about this," she said, leading Esmeralda to the couch. As they sat, knees touching, Esmeralda poured out her soul. She spoke of the nights she lay awake, questioning why her relationships with men felt hollow. "With you it's different. You're the one who makes me feel alive." Emma listened, her heart aching with a mix of joy and dread. This could be everything, or it could destroy them both. The evening wore on, the city lights flickering outside the window like distant stars. Emma shared her own story, the isolation after coming out, the friends who drifted away, the job interviews where she hid her truth to avoid judgment. "Society isn't kind to us, Esme. It's not just about love, it's about survival." Esmeralda nodded, her hand finding Emma's. "I know, but I can't keep living a lie. Not anymore." As the clock struck midnight, they made a pact to explore this slowly, secretly, away from prying eyes. But even as Emma agreed, a voice in her head whispered warnings. What if this was a mistake? What price would they pay? The next morning, reality intruded like a cold shower. Emma woke to her phone buzzing, her sister, Claire, calling from Chicago. "Mom and Dad are worried about you," Claire said, her tone laced with disapproval. "They heard you're still single. Maybe it's time to come home. Get right with God." Emma's stomach churned. She hadn't told her family about her feelings for Esmeralda. How could she? Esmeralda, stirring beside her on the couch where they had fallen asleep talking, overheard and squeezed her hand, We'll face it together, she murmured. But Emma wondered if Esmeralda truly understood the storm ahead. At work that day, Emma's mind was a whirlwind. As a graphic designer in a bustling Manhattan firm, she usually thrived on creativity. But today, sketches blurred before her eyes. Her colleague Sarah noticed. "You okay? You look like you saw a ghost." Emma forced a smile. "Just family stuff." Inside, she battled the ethics of it all. Was it right to pull Esmeralda from her straight world into this? Esmeralda's family was devout Catholics. The thought of their reaction made Emma shudder. Her own parents had quoted Bible verses at her, calling her an abomination. If Esmeralda pursued this, she might lose everything: her job at the nonprofit, her social circle, her identity. By afternoon, doubt festered. Emma texted Esmeralda. "We need to think this through." The reply came swift. "I already have. I choose you." But as Emma stared at the screen, a memory surfaced. Her ex-girlfriend Lena, who had left after the pressure became too much. "I can't handle the stares, the whispers," Lena had said. Would Esmeralda break like that? The question haunted Emma as she headed home. The city streets a blur of indifferent faces. That night, they met at a quiet cafe in Brooklyn, away from their shared circle. Esmeralda arrived flushed, her eyes bright. "I told my roommate I'm questioning things," she confessed. Emma's heart sank. "Already? That's risky." Esmeralda shrugged. "I need to be honest with myself first." Their conversation delved deep, uncovering layers of suppressed desires. Esmeralda admitted to crushes on girls in high school, dismissed as phases. Emma shared her therapy sessions, the struggle to accept herself amid societal rejection. As they talked, the bond strengthened, but so did the shadows of consequence. The weeks that followed were a delicate dance of secrecy and discovery. Emma and Esmeralda stole moments together. Lunches in hidden parks, evenings in Emma's apartment with the blinds drawn. Each touch, each whispered word, fueled Emma's long-buried hope, but it also amplified her fears. What if this was just an experiment for Esmeralda? The thought clawed at her during sleepless nights, her mind replaying every glance, every hesitation. Esmeralda, meanwhile, grappled with her own turmoil. Back in her shared apartment in Queens, she stared at the family photos on her wall, her parents beaming at her graduation, her siblings at holidays. How could she betray their expectations? Her mother called daily, pressing about finding a good man to settle down with. "You're 27, Mija. Time is ticking," her mother would say, voice thick with tradition. Esmeralda's responses grew evasive, each lie a weight on her chest. Inside, she questioned her choices. Was this love, or rebellion against a scripted life? One evening, the tension boiled over. They were at Emma's cooking dinner, when Esmeralda's phone rang, her ex David. She answered, her voice strained. "No, I'm fine. Just busy." Hanging up, she turned to Emma, who stood rigid by the stove. "He wants to get back together," Esmeralda admitted. Emma's fork clattered to the floor. "And?" The word was sharp, laced with insecurity. Esmeralda sighed. "I told him no. But part of me wonders if it's easier." Emma's eyes flashed. "Easier? To pretend? To deny who you are?" The argument escalated, voices rising in the small space. Esmeralda defended her doubts. "You came out years ago. I haven't. My world isn't ready." Emma shot back. "Neither was mine. But I chose truth over comfort." The fight left them exhausted, sitting on opposite ends of the couch. Emma's inner monologue raged. "She's not ready. I'll end up heartbroken." But as Esmeralda reached out, tears streaming, Emma softened. "I'm scared too," she confessed. They reconciled with promises to communicate better, but the crack had formed. The next day, Esmeralda attended a family gathering via video call. Her cousins joked about setting her up with a nice guy. She laughed it off, but inside guilt gnawed. Am I selfish for wanting this? For risking my family's love? At work, Esmeralda's performance slipped. As a social worker helping immigrant families, she prided herself on empathy, but now her mind wandered. Her boss noticed. "Everything okay at home?" Esmeralda nodded, but the lie burned. She confided in a colleague, Maria, about relationship troubles, omitting details. Maria's advice: Follow your heart, but think of the kids you help. They need stable role models. The word stung, highlighting the moral dilemma. Was pursuing Emma a betrayal of her professional ethics, her community's values? Emma faced similar pressures. Her art gallery opening loomed, and she invited Esmeralda as a friend. But whispers circulated, old acquaintances questioning her single status. One friend, Jake, pulled her aside. You deserve someone who matches your fire, not hiding in the shadows. Emma bristled. Am I hiding her, or protecting us? The event was a success, but as Esmeralda mingled, Emma watched with a mix of pride and anxiety. Later, alone, Esmeralda admitted, I felt like an imposter. Emma held her. We both do. The turning point came at a pride event Emma dragged Esmeralda to, anonymously. Surrounded by vibrant crowds, Esmeralda felt a spark of belonging, but also overwhelm. This is your world, she said. Emma replied, it could be ours. But on the way home, a homophobic slur from a passerby shattered the illusion. Esmeralda froze, her face paling. Is this what it's like? Emma nodded grimly. Every day. That night, Esmeralda's doubts resurfaced. In her journal she wrote, what if I'm not strong enough? What if I hurt her more by trying? Their relationship deepened despite the storms. Shared dreams emerged. Esmeralda spoke of traveling together, Emma of building a life free from judgment. But reality intruded when Emma's parents called unexpectedly. We're coming to visit, her mother announced. Panic set in. You can't tell them about us, Esmeralda urged. Emma agreed, but resentment brewed. Why must we hide? The visit was tense. Emma's parents probed her lifestyle, offering prayers for her redemption. Esmeralda, introduced as a roommate, smiled politely, but inside, she seethed at their bigotry. After they left, Esmeralda exploded. How do you endure that? Emma shrugged. I have to. For now. But the encounter forced Esmeralda to confront her own family. She decided to test the waters, mentioning a friend who was gay. Her mother's response, pray for them. It's a phase. The dismissal crushed her. Am I ready to lose them? As months passed, small betrayals crept in. Esmeralda flirted with a male co-worker at a party, testing her feelings. Emma saw, and jealousy erupted. Are you sure about us? The accusation led to another fight, revelations pouring out. Esmeralda admitted her confusion. I love you, but I miss the normalcy. Emma's heart broke. Normalcy means erasing me. They parted in anger, the first night apart in weeks. Alone, Emma questioned everything. Was loving Esmeralda worth the constant pain? Esmeralda, in her apartment, stared at the ceiling. Have I made a mistake? The separation lasted days, each texting apologies, but the damage lingered. When they reunited, promises were made. Therapy, open talks. But the high stakes loomed, society's gaze, family's wrath, personal sacrifices. One evening, Esmeralda's brother visited unannounced. Spotting a photo of her and Emma too close, he confronted her. What's going on? Esmeralda deflected, but his suspicion planted seeds of paranoia. If Mom finds out, he warned. Esmeralda's resolve wavered. That night, she told Emma, we might need to slow down. Emma's world cracked. Is this the beginning of the end? The slowdown turned into a chasm. Emma threw herself into work, channeling pain into her designs, bold strokes reflecting her inner chaos. But every quiet moment brought Esmeralda's face to mind, the warmth of her touch a ghost haunting her. Why did I let myself hope? She thought, staring at blank canvases. Friends noticed her withdrawal. Sarah invited her out, but Emma declined. I need time, she said, but inside isolation deepened her wounds. Esmeralda, back in her routine, felt the void acutely. Dates with men felt forced, conversations shallow. At a family dinner, her mother announced a matchmaking setup with a family friend. He's perfect for you, she beamed. Esmeralda's stomach twisted. I'm not interested, she snapped, drawing stares. Later, alone, she cried. Am I betraying myself by staying silent? The moral weight pressed. Duty to family versus self-truth. She sought solace in online forums, reading stories of women like her, coming out late, facing backlash. Some thrived, others lost all. Which path is mine? A chance encounter reignited the flame. At a charity event for LGBTQ rights, Esmeralda spotted Emma across the room. Their eyes met, a silent pull drawing them together. "I miss you," Esmeralda whispered. Emma's resolve crumbled. "Me too." They left together, talking through the night. Esmeralda confessed her fears. "I thought pulling away would protect us, but it hurts more." Emma shared her own. "I feel like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop." They decided to try again, but with boundaries, no hiding forever. The recommitment brought joy, but challenges mounted. Esmeralda's workplace, a conservative nonprofit, buzzed with anti-LGBTQ sentiments after a policy debate. A colleague's joke about those people made her flinch. Should I speak up? Risk my job? She stayed silent, guilt festering. Emma, hearing about it, urged action. Silence is complicity. The disagreement sparked tension. "Easy for you to say," Esmeralda retorted. "You've already lost your family." Emma winced. "And I'd do it again for authenticity." The conflict peaked when Emma's ex, Lena, reappeared. Lena, now openly advocating for queer rights, contacted Emma for collaboration. Esmeralda's jealousy flared. Is she better? More committed? Emma reassured her, but seeds of doubt grew. Inside, Esmeralda wondered, am I enough? The paranoia led to a rash decision. She attended a straight singles event, telling herself it was networking. But a photo surfaced online, seen by Emma. Betrayal hit like a wave. "You went where?" Emma confronted her at home. Esmeralda defended. "It was nothing. I needed to feel normal." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Normal means without me." The argument unraveled truths. Esmeralda's internalized homophobia, Emma's abandonment fears. "You're ashamed of us," Emma accused. Esmeralda broke down. "I'm ashamed of myself." They spent hours dissecting, emerging raw but closer. But the damage lingered, trust frayed. Society's pressure amplified. At a protest against anti-LGBTQ legislation, they marched together, anonymous in the crowd. Empowerment surged, but a counter-protester's venom, sinners, shook Esmeralda. Later she confided. "What if they're right? What if this is wrong?" Emma held her. "Love isn't wrong. Hate is." But Esmeralda's faith wavered. Her Catholic upbringing clashed with her feelings. Therapy helped, but sessions unearthed painful memories, childhood sermons on damnation. Family intrusions escalated. Emma's sister visited, sensing something. "Who's the new friend?" Claire probed. Emma evaded, but Claire's parting words. "Don't drag others into your mess." Esmeralda's side worsened. Her mother planned a visit. Panic set in. "We can't be seen together," Esmeralda said. Emma agreed reluctantly, but resentment built. "Am I worth fighting for?" During the visit, Esmeralda's mother noticed her distraction. "Is there a man?" Esmeralda shook her head. "Then what's wrong?" The urge to confess bubbled, but fear won. After, she rushed to Emma, sobbing. "I couldn't say it." Emma comforted her, but inside doubt grew. Will she ever choose me fully? A moral crossroads arrived when Esmeralda's nonprofit faced funding cuts over LGBTQ inclusivity. She could advocate or stay quiet. Choosing to speak at a meeting, she said, "Diversity strengthens us." Backlash followed, emails accusing her of agenda pushing. Her boss warned, "Tread carefully." Triumphant yet terrified, she told Emma, "I did it for us." Emma beamed, but worried about repercussions. The high was short-lived. An anonymous tip to Esmeralda's family hinted at her lifestyle. Her brother called, furious. "Is it true? With a woman?" Esmeralda denied, but the lie cracked her. "I have to tell them," she decided. Emma supported, but fear gripped her. What if they take her away? The fallout from Esmeralda's partial confession rippled outward. Her parents bombarded her with calls, pleading, then threatening disownment. "Think of your soul." Her mother wept. Esmeralda's resolve hardened, but cracks showed. Sleepless, she questioned, "Is this worth eternal family rift?" Emma, sensing the strain, offered space. "Take time." But inside, Emma panicked. What if she chooses them? Work became a battleground. After her advocacy, colleagues divided. Some supportive, others cold. A promotion she eyed slipped away. Whispers of bias circulating. Esmeralda confronted her boss. Is this because of my stance? The denial rang hollow. Frustrated, she confided in Emma. I'm paying the price. Emma nodded. Welcome to the club. But Esmeralda's bitterness grew. Why must love cost so much? Emma's world wasn't immune. Her gallery faced boycott threats after featuring queer art. Clients pulled out, citing family values. Stand firm, her mentor advised. But bills piled up, stress mounting. In therapy, Emma unpacked. I feel like I'm dragging her down. The therapist probed. Or is she lifting you? Ambivalence swirled. A betrayal struck when Esmeralda, in a moment of weakness, confided in an old friend, Rosa. Rosa, shocked, spread the news. Soon Esmeralda's extended family knew. Accusations flew. Texts calling her selfish, immoral. You've shamed us, an aunt wrote. Esmeralda collapsed, sobbing to Emma. I trusted her. Emma raged internally. Friends turn foes so easily. They isolated, drawing closer in adversity. But isolation bred tension. Small arguments escalated, over hiding, over pace. Esmeralda pushed for public acknowledgement. Emma cautioned patience. Society isn't ready, Emma said. Esmeralda snapped. Neither were you once. The jab hurt, revealing mutual resentments. In her thoughts, Esmeralda wondered. Are we fighting the world or each other? A glimmer of hope came at a support group for late-blooming lesbians. Esmeralda attended alone, hearing stories mirroring hers. I lost my family but gained myself, one woman shared. Inspired, Esmeralda proposed a weekend getaway. Let's escape. Emma agreed. And in a cozy cabin upstate, they reconnected. Talks by the fire, walks in nature. No pressures, just them. I choose you, Esmeralda affirmed. Emma believed for a moment. Reality crashed back. Returning, Esmeralda found her apartment vandalized. A slur spray painted on the door. Police dismissed it as prank. Terrified, she moved in with Emma temporarily. This is the hate we face, Emma said. Esmeralda nodded, but fear not. Am I strong enough? The move deepened their bond but invited scrutiny. Neighbors whispered. A co-worker spotted them holding hands. Rumors spread at Esmeralda's job, leading to a formal warning. Keep personal life separate. Defiant, she quit, seeking inclusive work. For us, she told Emma. But unemployment stressed her, doubts resurfacing. Was quitting rash? Moral? Emma supported, but her own career faltered. A major client demanded neutral art. Refusing, she lost the contract. Principles over profit, she declared, but anxiety mounted. In bed, she confessed. I'm scared we'll end up broke. Esmeralda reassured. Together we're rich. But practicality clashed with romance. Family reconciliation attempts failed. Emma's parents sent a letter. Repent or you're dead to us. She burned it, tears falling. Esmeralda's side organized an intervention. Relatives flying in. Come alone, they demanded. Esmeralda refused. Emma's my partner. The word slipped out, solidifying her choice. The meeting was explosive. Accusations of corruption, pleas for therapy. Esmeralda stood firm. This is me. Walking out, she felt liberated yet orphaned. The aftermath was raw. Esmeralda grieved her losses. Emma comforting through nights of sobs. Did I choose wrong? Esmeralda whispered. Emma, you chose truth. But Emma's inner voice questioned. At what cost to her? As they rebuilt, small victories emerged. Esmeralda landed a job at an LGBTQ-friendly org. Emma's art gained underground buzz. Friends rallied, true ones. But shadows lingered. A rejected loan due to unstable lifestyle, judgmental stares in public. A final test came when David reappeared, offering Esmeralda a fresh start. I know you're confused, he said. Tempted by normalcy, she hesitated. But seeing Emma's photo on her phone, she declined. I'm not confused anymore. Telling Emma, they celebrated, but Esmeralda admitted. It was close. Emma's trust wavered. Will temptation always lurk? With time, their life stabilized into a fragile normalcy. Mornings began with coffee and quiet talks, evenings with shared dreams. But undercurrents of doubt persisted. Esmeralda's new job brought fulfillment, advocating for marginalized voices, but reminders of her old life stung. Holiday cards from family, silent on her choice. She wondered, can wounds heal, or do they scar forever? Emma's career rebounded with a queer-themed exhibit, drawing crowds and controversy. Protests outside the gallery, signs decrying perversion, tested her mettle. Inside, supporters cheered. Esmeralda stood by her, hand in hand publicly for the first time. Proud of you, she whispered. But later Emma confessed, the hate exhausts me. Esmeralda nodded. Me too. Their inner battles synced, balancing joy with the toll. A reunion attempt with Esmeralda's siblings offered hope. Her sister, Anna, reached out secretly. I miss you, Anna said over coffee. Tears flowed as Esmeralda explained her journey. Anna listened, conflicted. Mom's heartbroken, but I want to understand. Progress, but slow. Esmeralda shared with Emma. Maybe bridges can rebuild. Emma smiled warily. Or burn again. Societal shifts helped. Laws protecting LGBTQ rights strengthened, but backlash intensified. A local bill threatening equality mobilized them. They volunteered, canvassing neighborhoods. Doors slammed, but some opened. You're brave, a stranger said. Esmeralda felt empowered, but risks loomed. Harassment calls, online trolls. Is activism worth the danger? She pondered. Personal growth marked their path. Esmeralda embraced her identity, joining communities. Emma watched proudly, but jealousy flickered when Esmeralda bonded with new friends. Am I enough? Emma thought. Addressing it, they deepened intimacy through vulnerability, no physical details, just emotional rawness. A crisis hit when Emma's health scare, a stress-induced panic attack, landed her in the ER. Esmeralda rushed there, holding her. Don't leave me, Esmeralda begged. Recovering, Emma reflected. Our love saved me, but stress from hiding nearly killed me. They vowed transparency, coming out to remaining circles. The ultimate sacrifice came when Esmeralda's parents issued an ultimatum. Renounce this, or lose inheritance. Financially strained, Esmeralda wavered. It's our future, she said. But Emma urged. Not at your soul's cost. Esmeralda refused the money. I'd rather be poor and true. The decision freed her, but poverty tested them. Shared ramen nights, gig work. Worth it? Esmeralda asked. Emma, yes. Awakenings followed. Esmeralda mentored young queer women, sharing her story. Choices define us, she taught. Emma's art inspired change, one piece at a time. But losses accumulated. Friends faded, opportunities vanished. In quiet they debated, did we win or lose? Years blended, their bond unbreakable yet scarred. At a quiet anniversary, Esmeralda proposed informally. Forever? Emma accepted, tears mingling. But as they danced in their living room, thoughts intruded. What if society never accepts? What if we regret?